All right, so the last tip is offset the rest. So this is where, you've done everything you can and you still have a little bit of carbon to go. Maybe you didn't put solar up at all and couldn't afford it right now, so you still want to be a low carbon house and get to no carbon and offset the rest. So there are strategies that are coming online that can do that until we can find a way to get full renewable energy on the site at all times, which is getting easier and easier, but still costly, especially in colder places. So what you want to do is get formally certified renewable energy credits, or RECs. A good way to do this would be through an offset program through a third-party entity or utility. We have a utility out here that went out and bought a bunch of solar fields, and you can buy shares of it and get like, I think it's like 55 cents back on the dollar that you spend. Or there's the carbon offset programs that you can buy into that are aggregate that the utilities put up with businesses. The better approach to this is, if your local community allows for it legally, work to develop a community solar program where you actually buy into the shares and somebody puts solar up on a field or a building or a church or you name it, and you can buy into those shares and reduce your energy that way and not have to rely on the costs and upfront risk of purchasing solar power for your own house. But these are all great ways to do it. For multifamily and commercial, there is now the ISO 14001 carbon offset program that's fully certified and has a pathway, and it's mostly used on the multifamily and commercial side or business operations side, but can be used to help achieve those goals. And the last thing I wanted to throw out there is a really cool session that we did, and we're still getting more details on these kinds of things, but these folks who are targeting net zero market rate homes and doing it in a cost-effective way using these sort of 10 strategies and showing that it really can be done with just the proper design and the right team committed. So you can check that out there. All right, so I have some time to stick around for questions. I know that was a lot, but real quick before I get to those, for your CEUs, if you're watching this live, make sure you take that survey that pops up or gets emailed to you. If you're watching this on demand, make sure to take the quiz with the 80% passing rate. So that's people watching this in the future. And then for those of you watching this on our YouTube channel, click on YouTube and then go down on the left there, click Show More. And on the right, you'll see Need CEUs, access the quiz here, and you can grab that quiz, take it, and get that 80% passing rate. And just a huge thanks to all of our sponsors, Mitsubishi Electric, T-Stud, Panasonic, especially for all of their support, and our members, our board of directors, and all of you for joining us. We really appreciate it. And yeah, let me know what kind of questions you have. I can stick around and go through some of those and try to help you out. So I often wonder how conventional utility companies deal with net positive metering that reduces their profits. Yeah, it's definitely if you're talking about net metering programs, there are a lot of states that have sort of codified them, a lot of states and certain utility companies where they're gone or they don't have any. And I think that's why it's important to look into battery systems, because actually a lot more states and utilities are moving towards these sort of time of use programs where you can draw from your battery during peak times and your solar and help reduce the reliance on the grid for the utility company, and then they don't have to build more peaker plants. And then just buy carbon offsets, either from them, which they can help make that easy. Some make that real easy, though there's less, a lot of times you're paying a little bit more then, or from someone else. But yeah, it is, there are, depending on how the utility is regulated, it can be very difficult for them to justify net metering. So I think, yeah, it is, and I think it is more exciting to see this shift more towards this on-demand usage. And there's other terms for it, where batteries are just making more sense, especially as their costs come down. And, quite frankly, solar is kind of a, it's kind of a slap in the face to pay so much for so much solar, and then the grid goes down and your solar is useless. You can't draw any energy from it. And the reason for that is because you can't be sending electrons back onto the grid while they're trying to repair it, so there's a shutoff on your solar that doesn't kill a line worker. So if you have a battery system, you can continue to use that solar power through your battery system, but your solar is useless without it unless you've got maybe another special system set up. So thanks for adding that in. Are there any other questions on what I went through? You all have my contact information. If you're working on anything or looking for any ideas, you can definitely reach out. And we've got a ton more stuff coming up, and we'll keep going. So yeah, I don't see any other questions here. I know we went over a little bit of our time, so I thank you all for sticking around. And before you head out, just a public service announcement. Make sure that you stay safe out there. Please shelter in place. If you don't have to leave for other than your own health or having to work if necessary, or having to take care of a loved one, please stay in. The longer we all just stay in and stay down, we can get through this and get moving forward. So thank you for joining us. We'll catch you next week during Earth Day, and have a good rest of your week. Take care.
Be sure to check out all of our courses available online that you can watch anytime and anywhere to pick up your CEUs. Before you go, make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube to get weekly updates and stay up to date on green building science courses, webinars, and home tours. Thanks again.